What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Juggalo972 here, and this is Ask Juggalo972 2020 edition. Well, the end of the year 2020 edition. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. First one, well, the first four come from Nintendo Fan Guy. Who's your favorite character in My Hero Academia? None, because I don't watch it. Number two, have you ever watched K-On! Before? No. Number three, what are your hopes for AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2021? For AEW, let's see. I am hoping for a very Kenny Omega and a very Dynamite Impact relationship. And for New Japan, I am hoping for a Bullet Club Tokyo Dome 2021, day 1 and day 2. Best moment for an AEW New Japan happening this year? For AEW, it'd probably be a tie between Moxley becoming an AEW World Champion and Kenny Screwjob, because I don't know why, it's like the way they set up the Screwjob, though, it may have, could have been a little bit better, though, but, you knew something was coming up whenever you saw Don Callis, they're supporting Kenny, too, and Don, especially being, one of the co-vice presidents with Impact, and with New Japan, I gotta tell you, this year, it was seeing Naito both win and regain the IWGP heavyweight titles and intercontinental titles too. Not to mention, seeing Evil defected a Bullet Club as well. So, me honestly though, it's very I know it sounds very copy and paste with it though, but to me though, those are the things that really stand out though, because New Japan really didn't have very much going on in between the first parts of the pandemic too. So, there's that to think of. But yeah, and for both, honestly though, being able to see fans back into the crowds, just in pro wrestling in general too, so there's that to think about. But showing we're making progress though, but at the same time, we're also yep, shitty first year of COVID, if you ask me. Close to it. Question number 2 comes from Red-Eyed Ronin. In the Wall shit show that was 2020, what was the most positive thing in your life this year? And on the flip side, what was the most negative, aside from the obvious hell that was COVID? Well, let's start with the negative. Honestly, the most negative part though was, man, that's tough though, because a lot happened this year. The most negative started with things with the pharmacy not working out. Second would have to be, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be though, but I don't think I could put catching COVID on that list. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't, but at the same time, it was very manageable, and it was really easy to it was really easy with my wife too. So, and the most positive thing, honestly, being able to work in the field and getting married. That's the most positive. Then being able to focus on Juggalo972 plays a little bit. Being able to do a full playthrough of Chrono Trigger was a lot of fun too. It was really fun being able to actually do an actual PC playthrough of the game. The next question comes from Misunderstood, and she asks, favorite underrated video game series? That's tough too, because I've got a few. But the first ones that come to mind, honestly, though, have to be the Saga series, mainly Saga Frontier. Being in that entry too. The ActRaiser series, even though there was only 2, and there was spiritual successors, in terms of gameplay too, that includes Illusion of Gaia and Soul Blazer as well. I don't think ActRaiser 2, even though the second one was considered, it was an actual sequel, I don't think it felt like a true sequel because of the way it was developed and how shitty it was, though, being so slow, and the increased difficulty as well. I gotta go with the Chrono series as well, because I want a third Chrono game. Let's see. Thinking. Onimusha. The Onimusha series as well. There's been a couple of Onimusha games. I think the last one was Blade Warriors, and I think it was a fighting game. And the Virtual Pro Wrestling series. Now, I know Fire Pro Wrestling has kind of taken up the spot in the Japanese wrestling scene, but the Virtual Pro Wrestling games, in Japan, which would be booted over here into the WWF games, if you remember, like WWF No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000. I think the Virtual Pro Wrestling series needs to come back. Doesn't necessarily to be Fire Pro Wrestling though. The next question comes from Gothic Extravaganza. Well, given you did a top 10 favorite Psychopathic Records artists, how about the top 10 albums off Magic Ninja Entertainment? fuck it, double or nothing. How about top 10 Tech 9 strange music songs? Okay, let's go to the Magic Ninja catalog real quick. Now, given all clarity, I haven't listened to exactly everything on the Magic Ninja catalog, but to be fair though, I don't want to lie to you. I want to put down all the ones that I have listened, pretty much all the ones that I have listened to, pretty much narrow it down to not even 10 at this point. But here's what I will say though: if I had to choose, number one, that Triple Threat CD was really good though, because it was really cool just listen to Twiztid and Blaze, do some gangster rap again too. It felt like them, doing Blaze's One Less G in the Hood shit though. I like that. That's one of the things I like though. It wasn't necessarily G-Funk, but it was gangster shit. Underground Avengers, because my boy Class is on there. He's from DFW as well. LSP represent. And from Blaze's catalog, I gotta go with that Gang Rags Reborn too, because I love how they redid everything though, because this is the way it should have been, And even the God, what is it? Let's see, from House of Crazy though, now that it's considered official Magic Ninja Entertainment though, I have to go with Head Trauma though, because Head Trauma is my favorite HOK record. And from Twiztid's catalog, since now it's back on the it's no longer from Psychopathic though, because it is technically independent now, and it's now officially on the M&E catalog. I have to say, going from Twiztid, it's a tie between, because like right now they've for limited editions right now they got Chainsmoker, Fatso, they've got the original Most Tasteless, End of Days, Mirror Mirror, Heartbreaking and Homicidal, and the first Trip Cryptic Collection as well. But man, it's hard to choose between the Twiztid side. I think honestly though, when it comes to the Twiztid portion of it though, it's a tie between continuous evolution of life's question marks, and or it's a tie between the Green Book and the End of Days EP. Yeah, I know that's not a top 10 though, but those are the ones that I'm the most familiar with, from the M&E catalog. Although I will say my Filthy Spirit Bomb, even though Gmo Ski is no longer with the Magic Ninja Entertainment though, I gotta go with those selections. All right, now from Tech 9's catalog. Well, if you haven't looked through my my collections though, I actually have a collection of all my favorite Tech 9 songs on there, which they rank up to a grand total of technically altogether goes to about 38 songs. But I will name off my top 10 from Tech 9. Einstein, Riot Maker, Strange Music Box, Welcome to the Midwest, Worldwide Choppers, So Lonely, It's Alive, Hunterish, One Good Time, and Leave Me Alone. Those are my top 10 right there. The next question comes from Eric Johnson, 1994, and he asks, if you were to choose 5 Psychopathic records on vinyl to be remade or reissued and sold, what would they be and why? Okay, another good question. This one's a stumper. Though, but I think it may go back to some of them on my on my top 10 list, really honestly. But I think honestly though, when it comes to these, well, let's just read them off real quick. The first one that comes to mind though is One Less G in the Hood, the original on vinyl though, because number one, that one's just not available anymore. The deluxe G edition, don't get me wrong, is pretty good. It's got 19 tracks on it though, but even with 15 tracks, from the original One Less G in the Hood from 2001, that was just a complete classic though. It was truly underground during that time. It was truly independent though, and it was that return to that G-Funk style that Blaze had when he first started doing it, especially when he was doing off of Rydas. Number 2, I know Twiztid did a limited print of this though, but Freak Show, because Freak Show is just a Twiztid classic, and it was hard for me to choose between that one and the Green Book though, but the Green Book is on Magic Ninja right now, and it's already been re-released through vinyl as well. But yeah, Freak Show would definitely have to go through it though, because number one, it came out on Halloween just like Bizarre did, and just it's like when I got married too. Let's see, Black Rain from Dark Lotus. I would personally love to see that in purple vinyl, which is the yellow thunderclouds all over there with the black outlines though, because man, Black Rain has so many good classics as well. And of course, each one of these vinyls would be digitally remastered as well, or better yet, why don't you throw my remasters in there, because believe it or not, though, Black Rain, as wicked as it is, though, it's got a party vibe to it, though. So why the fuck not, spin it up? Let's see. This one's tough too, though, because I've got so many favorites as well. I would say "Fuck the Fuck Off" by Shaggy 2 but I think that one's already been re-released as well. I know "Wizard of the Hood" I think got re-released along with it as well. The Opaque Brotherhood by Dark Lotus, though, because that one is just straight up. It's dark. It's wicked. Because the one thing I love about the Lotus releases, though, is the fact that there's a certain mystique to them. When it comes to when they released it, though, because I remember just everything being so vague during that time, though. The Opaque Brotherhood, though, just had it had the King Dynasty build up around it, though. I mean, Black Rain kind of had a little bit of the temples built around it, if you look at the booklet as well. The Opaque Brotherhood, though, is slower but wicked. And of course, you already know I'm going to say Tales from the Lotus Pod, though, the original. And I saw how they did the re-release with when Psychopathic did the re-release with the quote-unquote revised version, if you will. But I mean, really, I don't see too much difference, going in it with just re-releasing the original, just tinting it red like it was originally. And then I need to say more about the original Lotus Pod. Come on, really? those are really good. This is a really good question, though. This one was made me rack my brain a little bit more. So thank you. And the last question comes from Danielle McCombs. She says, "What was the best thing to happen to you this yeast since the Rona started?" I don't know about the yeast, though. I mean, if you want to talk yeast, I mean beer. But this year, since the Rona started, I'm gonna keep it like this, though, because getting married on Halloween, though, was the highlight of my year. This year has been so shitty in a lot of ways, though. It's been giving in a lot of ways, but it's also been almost like scavenging in some ways too. I think right behind that, though, is being able to actually work in the front lines on the field too, and being able to learn some new skills when it comes to patient care. That just being able to be around loved ones this Christmas, though, because this year in general, though, I didn't care for presents that much. I just wanted to be around, my loved ones. I wanted to be around my family, my home, I say friends too, but, my close friends, but their family too. But, just being around the people that I love, this, at the second half of this year, though, was so cathartic. It really was, though. It wasn't just cathartic, though, but at the same time, it was really good just to see everybody. Getting married on Halloween, seeing everybody on the holidays and during this holiday season, even during Thanksgiving, though, because, it was just, like I said, it was just really good to see everybody and just, learning how to, new skills in this pandemic as well. I've got skills right now that I've learned that you can't give away to. And right now studying, to get back with my CPT, my phlebotomy certification. It's going to take a little bit longer than I expected, though, but yeah, right now, though, just being grateful for all the things that I've got a chance to experience this year and learned, especially the money that I was able to earn was definitely, and another good thing that's happened this year too is getting rid of toxic friends and toxic relationships. Yeah. And because another thing that I learned, during this pandemic too was how people become to act too. Specifically, with everything being so political, with everything being so, racially charged, with all the riots going on, and how people try to come together and how people are quickly to split and be about themselves more when they contradict themselves. Stuff like that, though, really goes to show, how quickly people are willing to disperse, things like that. So, yeah, getting married, spending time in the holidays with my family and friends, learning new skills, getting rid of toxic relationships. Yeah, I mean, it was very cathartic in a lot of ways, though, but I think, in the end, I think it kind of made me a better person too. And I like to think, though, hopefully it made me a better husband. And, I've got my family with me, I've got my wife with me and stuff like that too. So everything that I've got, I'm really grateful for. And It's hard to not, look at that, especially during this shitty year that is 2020. And more importantly, though, I really hope that everybody this year was able to retain something as well. I mean, granted, we lost, everybody lost somebody this year. I know I did. But, I'm still here. We're still here. You're still here. And that's what counts. Anyway, yeah, this was Ask Juggalo972, the end of the year 2020 edition. Thank you all for sending your questions. I love every last one of y'all. Much love. Peace. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a happy and safe New Year's. Please, if you're gonna go out, man, don't go drinking, man. Have a designated driver though, or have an Uber come pick you up though, man. Please be careful. And if you don't have anywhere to go, man, stay home and drink. Blast some music though. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have people over, man, just make sure they're not sick as well. Make sure you've got a place to stay if you're going out drinking too. Whatever you're doing, man, just be safe. Peace.